Thank you for joining us for another episode of A Letter to, where we discuss matters of the heart. And today we have a special guest with us today. And it's also a special day because it's his birthday. Hello. I feel bad as the host, over here interviewing him for his birthday, but he was like, he all in. So I'm just grateful that my brother is all in today. Would you please introduce yourself to our audience today?
Yes, my name is Damon Lane, and again, I'm inspired uh, by what you do,
Oh,
and wanted to be here.
oh,
So it
thank
didn't matter
you.
it being my birthday or not.
Yeah.
This is my birthday gift to you.
Come on now, gift me. Hello. I like gifts. And then he looking all nice. When a man is confident, he can wear pink.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I just want y'all to know, guys, it's okay to wear pink. You can be pink and sexy, okay? And
Absolutely.
confident.
My
Hello.
my brother said if our daddy was living and seen me wearing pink, he would.
See, that's that old stuff.
It is. It is because
They
I don't
oh
subscribe to that.
yeah,
No.
yeah. You got your own way of doing something. I love it. I love it. I love it. Guys, I'm so excited. We don't know how this gonna go, but we just gonna go, okay? This is my guest, and we brought him on to just talk about matters of his heart. But as we begin to prep for, I don't really like to prep my guests, but we just kind of like talk because there are issues about his father, and that's the way we're gonna go. But ladies, I got a man on the platform, a man that's not afraid to talk about some questions that women may have. Oh my God. So I'm like, hey, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Hey, no man has told me he is willing to talk about the questions that we have that are matters of our heart. So today, again, we are discussing matters of the heart. And Damon, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, about who you are,
Mhm.
and what brings you to this platform today?
Well, pretty simple. You know, raised by single parent uh, woman. Um, Dad was around, didn't have the relationship with him that I needed.
Okay.
Um, we lived on the west side of Indianapolis. He lived on the east side of Indianapolis. So, had a relationship with him.
Okay.
Again, just wasn't the go out in the backyard and throw the football type relationship
Okay. Okay.
that I needed.
Right. Right.
Um, and so went through my own personal trials and tribulations trying to find myself
Mhm.
without that proper father in the household with me.
Mhm.
And it kind of led me down a pathway that now I realize has helped me to be on a platform like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
um, wouldn't really change anything about my life, but I definitely can say, if I'm being honest, there's some things that that no child should experience.
Right. Right.
So I'm here by way of Indiana to Texas,
Mm.
and I enjoy moments like this to tell my story and
Yes.
to help other people if I can.
Okay. Great. Great. It's like I said, it's so wonderful to have a man on that's willing to open up and talk about matters
Hmm.
of the heart. A lot of times, I don't stereotype men, but I will say that a lot of times men are not comfortable
Yeah.
opening up about themselves and
Hmm.
about their challenges and about their fears if they have them because men are made to be they're supposed to be
Strong.
strong, and we have this self-conceived notion about like Superman, he should be like Superman,
Hmm.
indestructible.
Hmm.
But they, because that's the way they've been stereotyped,
Hmm.
they're afraid, I think, and you can say if I'm right or wrong, sometimes they're afraid to be vulnerable with a woman
Right.
because of the stereotype.
Yeah.
Can you agree?
Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree.
So even in relationships, um, we kind of talked about that a little bit earlier, but like even in relationships, men are not, some men, again, this is not male bashing, but some men are not even willing to like open up and talk about certain things or shut off conversations because I know women, we love to talk. We love to talk. We love to talk. I mean, Eve talked us right up out of our Wait, honey, I'm not even gonna talk to her right now because I mean, it's gonna be a line of people waiting to talk to Eve when we get to heaven. So I don't even have to talk with her right now. But women love to talk. That's my whole point. Women love to talk. So as a man, so you grew up in a single parent home
Mm-hmm.
with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? Was single parent home? You knew your dad, but so like I know what it's like to be raised in a single parent home by my mother, and so I can tell them from a lady's point of view, but I can't tell them from a man's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So how was that for you? Like being raised by a mom. She had to. I'm gonna be quiet. Uh, so she had to teach you how to. Oh yeah, wee wee. That ain't even. Is that censored? But how was that for you being in a single parent home with the
It
being
was.
raised by your mom?
It's awkward. I mean, that's the one word that comes to my mind. Now, again, as a child, you don't know how to articulate that.
Right.
But I'm gonna even break it down even to this point. I talk about this a lot. So one of the things that I do is I started a organization called Manhood Ministries,
Okay.
and it was really because of this conversation we having. Most of the
Wow.
guys that I was coming in contact with uh, during their incarceration and any type of involvement with the judicial system,
Okay.
the one thing that I seen across the board, the one commonality was the lack of a father, the lack of that positive male presence in the home.
Right.
And so it's like, hmm. So God, put on my heart to start in 2011,
Hmm.
start Manhood Ministries. It's a
Okay.
nonprofit organization. And for me, one of the things was that I talk about with the gentleman that I speak with is a lot of the things that I learned from my mother,
Mm.
even though she didn't realize she was
She was
teaching it to
teaching
me.
it to you. Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. And I mean, I see, I am a talker. And so I'm very transparent. The first person I seen in bra and panties was my mother.
Okay.
First female I
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
So let me
Hmm.
be clear what I'm talking about.
Right. Of course.
First image of a female
Yes.
in her bra and panties was my mother.
Okay.
So she probably, and I didn't either at that time,
Know what that was. Hmm.
recognize
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
even call it what I am
Right.
today.
Right.
But now when I look back on some of the things that I found myself doing, like womanizing, let's just
Mm.
call it
Okay.
what it is,
Yeah.
it's like, where did that actually start? Where did that
Mm.
come from?
Yeah.
And I'm not putting all the blame on my mother.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no. You're good.
it
I
was
understand
it
you being transparent.
that's
Yeah.
right. But
Hmm.
the initial
Yes.
was that. Then of course, television, movies, music and everything else,
Hmm.
even taking it back to newspapers, back in the days when it really was newspapers,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a lot of that, that was taking place with my mother. And then there's those things that she called herself actually helping me with, but she was doing more harm.
Mm.
Um, like she did, you know, bash my dad a
Okay.
lot in my presence.
Okay.
But for her, she thought she was teaching
Teaching
me
you how not
exactly,
to be. Okay.
exactly.
Okay. So growing up, being with your mom, and you dad was not in the home, there was like a lot of talking against, or like you said, she thought she was teaching you how to not be,
Exactly.
but for you, it felt like she was bashing him.
Right.
So in your own head, you had an idea about him, a
Yeah.
bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like he wasn't there like I needed him to be.
Okay.
One case in particular that I remember, just like it was yesterday. I got into a altercation with my mother's boyfriend at the time, and I'll never forget. And I knew saying this, but of course I said it. So I'm gonna call my daddy. I'm talking to the guy. We
Yeah.
we getting into it. We having
Yeah.
a back and forth.
Right.
I'll call my daddy. I called him and he never came. I mean, I didn't even get him on the phone, first of
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm still waiting.
Wow, I'm glad you opened up that door because how does that feel? The disappointment, just of the times that you needed him and he didn't show up for you. What did that do for you as a young man growing up?
It did. I mean, again, just full transparency. It did so much that I started selling drugs at 14.
Oh my goodness.
I bought my first bag of cocaine at 14.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
started with weed, to be honest with you, but
Mhm.
after about 2 or 3 weeks of it was just too slow for me, and I seen cocaine hit in the 80s, and I
Mhm.
seen how fast that was, and I mean, and that's I'm serious. That's what it did for me. I was like, okay, I got to do this on my own.
Do you think that it was a form of rebellion?
That too. That too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I definitely would agree that there's definitely a form of rebellion. Um, I just I knew I couldn't get the things that I wanted
Okay.
from my mother.
Mhm.
Obviously, dad was non-existent in
Yeah.
that area,
Yeah.
so it was like, okay, I see a way out,
Mhm.
and again,
I was thinking, and yeah, definitely I understand. Mom is out there, she's trying to pay everything, so you know you can't get it from her. The reason why I said rebellion though, because almost like I'm gonna get your attention this way. Okay, so
yeah,
if you're not gonna be there for me, then
hmm
maybe if I do this, or if you find out I'm doing this, you may
hmm
come and get on to me, and then that's a part of you parenting me by coming to get on to me.
hmm
Okay,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
I mean, it was a little of that. I mean,
Hmm.
again, at that time as a kid,
Right.
I was unable to articulate that.
Hmm.
But now, knowing what I know now, I can definitely, like I said, I'm in total agreement because it
Hmm.
was. I just felt like, excuse me, at that time, I was looking at, we lived in the projects,
Hmm.
uh, low income,
Right.
poverty stricken neighborhood.
Hmm.
I'm the actual only child by my mother. Now,
Okay.
my dad has other children,
Okay.
but my mother, I'm the only child. So, to her credit, I had everything I needed.
Right.
I had two beds. I tell people that all the time. I was in the projects, but I,
Hmm.
I could pick what bed I'm gonna sleep in.
Okay.
I had twin beds. I had a TV in my black and white back then, but
Yeah.
black and white TV in my room, a radio. And I had the stuff I needed.
Hmm.
It was the things that I wanted.
You want them J's. You
Yeah,
want.
I wanted the
Hmm.
stuff that started to come out that I would see the other kids with, and not
Yeah.
necessarily in the neighborhood. It was the schools they was busing us to. You go out here, and now I'm going to school with in second grade, well third grade, they bust us to the suburbs.
Okay.
So we used to walk first and second grade. We was walking to school in the neighborhood.
Mm.
So now I'm out here. It was a culture shock. I'm out here with
Oh.
kids that, like you said, now they got to like, oh, I'm looking at what I got on compared to what
Yeah.
they got on.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, and in some cases, not many, but some cases was teased for the
Hmm.
clothes.
Right.
I'm not gonna say that was an everyday occurrence, but it
Hmm.
did happen a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, but it still planted seeds,
Hmm.
and it showed me at that time. I felt that I was different.
Okay.
So it was like, what can I do to be just like everybody else?
I got you. I got
And I mean, again, once cocaine hit hard in the 80s, I started seeing. I would leave to get on the school bus, and I would see guys. They got on 13 gold chains and
you.
Cadillac.
In that era.
Yeah, exactly. Cadillac with rims, and all the girls is around. Now I'm going to school,
Hmm.
and this is what I'm seeing at 7, 8 in the morning. I come home on a school bus at 3, 4, and they still there.
Wow.
And I mean, what I think is respect. They're getting it,
Hmm.
from people in the
What you thought
neighborhood.
was respect. Okay.
Exactly. At
Okay.
that time, what I thought was respect.
Because you didn't necessarily have that example in the home.
No, exactly.
So
You
yeah,
know.
so you used to start looking around to see what you could see. So can I back up a little bit though as it
hmm
relates to father? So dad, as you said, was not in the home. How often was he around? Did he come around? Did he when you were younger, when you were a child, a teenager, did he come and he try to do things
No,
for you or spend time with you?
no.
So that void was there.
It was there. It was, if anything, I spent time with with my sisters and brothers' mother.
Okay.
So
Still a
so
woman.
when he would come and get me,
Okay.
like for a weekend or a spring break or
Uh-huh.
something like that, I basically would get dropped off with my sisters and brothers and their mother.
Hmm.
He would be running the
He
streets.
still be in them
Yeah, he
streets.
would be in the streets.
Mm.
I wake up, he there because he been out all night, so now he sleep, you
Yeah.
know. and then it was just that repetitive cycle. I mean, it was just every day was the same.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, I give more credit to their mom when I wasn't with my mom
Right.
than anything. You know,
Still being raised by
yeah, women.
the woman.
Yeah,
Still being raised
exactly.
by the woman. Okay, so we move on. We graduate to you start selling drugs,
Hmm.
and now you're able to get your own stuff.
That's
You're
right.
able to buy your own J's or
That's right.
whatever it is that you like, you wanted. You were able to get it. And so dad wasn't there as present, but it is because I heard you say womanizing is, and you saw those guys with all the girls and they
Yeah.
had
Yep.
the chains
Yep.
on, and is that in high school? Is that when you realize, hey, I'm handsome? Let me see how many I can pull.
It was definitely. I talk about this with my wife all the time. When I look back, so my major is in psychology. It's like, why do we think the way we
Yeah,
do? Why do
yeah,
we do the things we
right.
do? And and again, I mean, people, well, some people like to blame strictly rap music. Uh, that's definitely a piece. I'm not here. I'm not oblivious to that because that's part of my story as well. I mean, then when are having conversations with some of the guys I had conversations with, it was about how many girls you could get.
Mm,
I mean, so
mm.
you had your old heads, so to speak. Yeah, boy, you better get out there and man, you just 17 years old. You get out there and you get that. You don't settle that. I mean, they ain't
Oh,
telling you.
yeah. They just taught you, hey, get all you can. Sample everything you can get while you can get it. Is that what they were trying
and
to tell
and and
y'all?
and people seem it's not respect, but you see it as respect at that particular time when you're in that stage as respect. So the more I can go around and say, "Oh yeah, man, oh girl, yeah,
I
man,
tapped that
I
one.
tell you, oh
Oh
man,
man.
boy, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. So you got like almost a crown for every, or a
exactly,
star in your crown for
exactly,
everything. Yeah.
yeah."
Everything that you knocked out.
And let's not take it to music. I mean, so now we can dive into that. You
Okay.
had my time. In my time,
Hmm.
you had a little everybody because of course I'm that age where
Yeah.
it started, but
Hmm.
I'm gonna go into more of the 80s. You had your Too Shorts coming out,
Yeah.
and
Too
that's all
short.
Too Short talked about.
Yeah.
He had a whole song where he was naming names
Yeah. That
and what he
doggone too.
did.
That doggone too short, man. That doggone too short, yo.
And you get to a point in your life where when you're caught up in that's the thing. When you're in that life, all that stuff makes sense to you.
Okay.
You know.
So as long as I got the attire and
That's
then I
right.
got the
That's right.
girls, so basically you're building this image of what you thought success was
Yeah.
because you didn't have an example,
That's right.
not a real
Not a
example
real
of what
example.
success was.
One of the, and I say this all the time. So by the time I was 16, I was pretty heavy in the drug game. Like I had to connect out of Chicago and everything. I had Cadillac, all that stuff at 16, and this was a
You had a
verse.
Cadillac at 16?
This was a
Oh,
verse.
you was the real one.
This was a verse
All
from
right.
Texas own Houston,
This oh,
Scarface.
okay, hold on, excuse me. This fella's doing a bit much, mister.
That's what I said. I had to give her back.
Excuse us. Thanks. Okay, go ahead. I'm
But
sorry.
Scarface said, I'm 53 and I still remember this.
Mm-hmm.
These are the lyrics. He said, "Give me a caddy,
Mm.
30s and Vogues, brand new crib, brand new clothes."
Mm.
I quoted that like that because I made sure that's
You
exactly
had
what
it
I
in
had.
that order. Mm.
You know,
Okay, okay, okay.
Tupac's video, They Got Me Trapped. That's that same outfit he had on, and I'm talking about to the shoes I went and bought.
Mm.
It was, I don't know if you remember, used. That was a brand back in the days. I had that whole outfit. It was a blue jean jacket, coat type thing with the pants, and he had on some white and blue Air Maxes. I went and bought it.
So having it was, I won't say they were your role model, but so at that time when you started being able to do all the things that you thought you needed, the money, the cars, the clothes, did you think you had arrived? You think like now I'm the man?
I did and I didn't. I I did in a sense, but I was just young. and wild.
Right.
So I felt like I thought I arrived, but I always felt like I had something to prove. So even though let's say I conquered this thing, once I got there, it seemed like I had something else to prove. It never stopped.
Okay.
It
Okay.
just never stopped.
Who are you trying to this something else to prove? Does it equate back to the father? Who do you think you had something to prove to?
I think subconsciously, I think it was the father. I know for a fact it was my mother
Okay.
because once she found out that I was selling drugs and that I wasn't going to stop, I always would make these promises to her. So it was definitely to her. Uh, my family, because at this point my family was dependent. Like I was, my grandmother, my aunts, they could come to me, hey, my water bill, my light bill disconnect, and they know I'm gonna pay it.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, and then I've always been a giver.
Mhm.
Like I'm the type of guy that threw money out my, we call them power holes,
Mhm.
your roof.
Mhm.
Uh, like drive down the street and just throw money out my. I was just
You were
young.
that guy.
I was just young in that wow, where
Mhm.
yeah, I see somebody at the mall and I just for whatever reason, hey, what you want? You know.
Free hearted.
Yeah.
Okay. Mhm.
I mean, when you get it that fast, it just wasn't. I mean, you don't. I didn't. I'll speak on myself.
Mhm.
I didn't appreciate it because it's like I go get this when I leave, and some.
Okay.
So it wasn't no real value in
So
it.
you started selling drugs at 14.
Yep.
How long were you in the drug selling business?
Until I caught two drug cases back to back and was sentenced to 28 years when I was 19.
19.
Took a 28-year plea bargain.
19. Okay, so you did that up until you were 19. I just
Hmm.
want to ask. I'm just gonna bring a little bit more about the father because we're gonna switch conversations and we're gonna talk about what we talked about earlier about just men. But so from 14 to 19, you did your thing. During that 5 year span, did dad start showing up more? Did he even know you were doing what you were doing? Um,
He knew. About that time, he knew.
okay.
And actually, I had found out uh, probably 18ish. Yeah, about 18ish that he was at. Because and the reason he knew is because he would come buy stuff from me. But he would always tell me it was his buddies. He'd be like, hey, so and so wants such and such. And I told him I could get it from my son. I was like, okay, here. But come to find out, I didn't
Daddy
find out
was
till later
buying stuff from the son.
that he was using.
Wow.
Yep, I found out that he was using, and that totally just broke my heart because
I'm sure.
even though we didn't have the best relationship,
You didn't want him doing
I didn't
that.
want that. Yeah,
No, no.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't want that, and didn't know it. Didn't know it. You know,
Wow.
wasn't around to see it, so that's why he could fool me.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
that's why he really could fool me because it ain't like we had a close relationship where I seen him every day or anything. So I never seen him at all, like in that capacity. I never seen, you know.
Okay. Okay. So basically, he was in and out of your life.
Hmm.
Dad was in and out of your life.
More out.
I was about to say, so him not being there, how did that shape you into the man that you are today? Because I was talking to some another guest, and they were saying that their father not being in their life, they think it was for a purpose because it made him be a better man.
Hmm.
Of how to be a better example, to be a better man than he was. I'll
Hmm.
put it like that.
Hmm.
So, how did that shape you into the man that you are now?
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I'm saying this for me. I'm telling anybody listening to be careful, but I'm telling you about my life
Okay.
from a psychological point of view, and we're gonna take it biblically. It talks about as a man thinketh, so is he in his
Right.
heart.
Yes.
And so to what you just said, I thought about my dad so much that I didn't want to be like him. I mean, that's all I thought about. Whether I was conscious of it or not. I'm gonna be better than him. I ain't gonna do. At the time I ain't had kids,
Right. Right.
but when I finally did have my first child,
Hmm.
still I ain't gonna be like him. I ain't gonna be like him.
Yes.
Today's my birthday. I just turned 53. I'm probably out of all these kids, I'm probably the most likely.
Oh wow.
And not
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 in a
in
bad
not
way.
in the sense of, but if I'm being honest, he was a womanizer. I was a womanizer. He had children by multiple women. I have children by multiple women.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of similarities. As much as I didn't want to be
Yeah,
like him, it was
yeah.
a
You
lot
ended up falling in those same shoes.
and wasn't even around him, you
Wow.
know. And wasn't even around him. And if again, just full transparency, had even got into some abusive relationships like him, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
where
Wow.
where you as a you get taught the louder you get, the more you can stomp your feet,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
that's who wins.
Mm.
And so, I subscribe to that during a certain period of my life,
Okay.
ah, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
let me yell,
Mm.
you know,
Right.
if I don't get it, then let me grab you, you know.
Hmm.
And it was just a lot of that, again, I attribute to not just him, but if I'm being honest, that definitely was wrong. I mean, my dad shot people. I would hear about it. I was never there to see it.
Hmm.
But he's done some things that in the hood, you get stripes for.
Wow.
People look up to you for that, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
in certain neighborhoods.
Okay.
And I grew up in that type of neighborhood, and that's why, even in my case, when you live that type of life, you do, because I have too. I
Hmm.
mean, I stuff that I've actually been arrested for. So anything I say, I'm not concerned about. But I
Hmm.
was involved in two separate shootings where
Hmm.
I shot somebody when I was 16, shot somebody when I was 18.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what happened. Okay, so you were in prison, but you took a plea bargain,
Yep.
and you were only in there for 18 years.
No, I took a plea bargain for 28 years. I was
Okay.
not. They broke it down, and I had to execute 10.
Okay. Oh, okay. So only 10 years.
Oh,
You, I ain't gonna say only because that probably felt
yeah,
like forever.
it did.
I'm sorry. I ain't never been to prison. I'm not trying to make light of it. Excuse me, audience.
But
But
and even with that being said, uh, in Indiana at that time it was state, it wasn't federal.
okay.
So on good behavior, I actually did 5. So I went when I was
Okay.
19, came home when I was 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on now. So having to go through prison and go through that, did that help to change your mindset a little about? I
Hmm.
know when you got out, you weren't trying to go be Mr. Cocaine again, right? You
No.
you was trying to be, like a real worker in the field,
Yeah, I was trying to
in
do
the
the right thing.
vineyard.
I was trying to do the right thing. It was so bad that when I was in there initially, I blamed my dad for all of it. Like when I would call home
Hmm.
to talk to my sisters and brothers, and he would get on the phone. I mean, like I would cuss him out. Like, this is all your fault. I'm in here because of you. It got so
Tell me
bad
why you felt like that.
because I just felt like he should have been there.
He
You
could
know,
have helped steer you in the right
yeah, he should have. He could
direction.
have been there as a father,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
uh, who knows? Who knows what would happen? We'll never know at this point.
Right.
Uh, but then it was so bad that so my last name is Lane,
Hmm.
which is my dad's last name.
Right.
My mother's last name is Brown.
Okay.
It was so bad. I had talked to my mother about changing my name while I was in prison.
You didn't want no association with
None,
him.
none. I didn't want to honor him in no way. None.
You didn't want to bear his
I'm here
name.
because of you. I'm here because you didn't do your job. You know.
Oh,
And that's what
wow.
I would say to him. I was
Hmm.
hot. Boy,
Hmm.
I was mad. I'm in there doing this time.
You let him have
Well,
it
I
every
was I
chance
was
you could
mad.
get.
Yeah, I was
What
mad.
what what point did it get to that you realized? Okay, technically, I must say that you're blaming him, but did you take any accountability that some of this was really your doing?
I finally got to that point. I read my first book. Now, outside of what you would have to do in school,
Yes.
I wasn't a reader. I read my first book, Danielle Steele, The Family Album. Look it up for yourself. It's just a fictional book.
Daniel Still's a good author.
And they actually made a series out of it, of this particular book
Mm.
years ago. Again,
Yeah.
this back in the 90s. And but that was my first book I read. And then I read a couple, and it was about 400, 500 pages. Uh, but it kept me. I was intrigued. Like I didn't want to put it down, and I'm in prison. So like I go to sleep, I wake up, and I'm reading it again. I mean, I wouldn't even go eat sometimes because
it had you that
yeah, and
intrigued.
I didn't eat a lot of that stuff they serve, no way. So I just be reading a lot, and from there I started reading books, and immediately I started reading what I felt like was self help books for me at the time. Get money off those houses, and I was buying dope with all that money.
I hear is there was an entrepreneur in you. This was really who you were,
Right.
but who you made yourself out to be. Kept trying to rise up when the real you was saying, "No, this is who you are." But you couldn't hear him because you were hearing that little version of you that said,
The little version.
"Yeah, this little child
Yeah.
lost."